hunters, or should I say riders in this video. Scott Sensei here with a Monster Hunter Stories 2 video, and today I just wanted to give my overall impressions of the game. I'm slowly progressing through this game, so my tutorials are a little bit delayed. I do heavily apologize. I didn't get early access like some of the bigger YouTubers, so they will take me a little bit of time, but I do hope to deliver the same high quality guides as I usually do. So for today, I'm just going to overview my opinion of the game from what I've played so far. And I know because a lot of you are on the fence about buying this game, it's a different Monster Hunter game, right? It's not a main story, main kind of gameplay Monster Hunter game. So here we are. I haven't reached endgame yet, but I've been having a ton of fun nonetheless, like a superb amount of fun. Now, I will preface this by saying that I'm not even a big Pokemon fan, and you don't need to be either to enjoy this game. In fact, between you and me, I've probably played like 2 Pokemon games in my life and never finished them. Don't judge me, I'll see myself out. I was more of a Yu-Gi-Oh kid. On the other hand though, you also don't need to be a Monster Hunter fan to enjoy this game. If you're a Monster Hunter fan, this game is a beautiful appreciation game that adds to the series. It gives you a different perspective and feel for the Monster Hunter world. The lore may not line up exactly as the main games, but overall I think they've done a really good job of appreciating the details and giving some like spotlight on the monsters. But yeah, even if you don't play Monster Hunter, this game will keep you occupied for the mechanics, the world, and the beautiful settings of the game itself. So that's my general impression. Let's talk about a few key aspects, including the negatives as well. Number 1, the environment and the platform. Now, Stories 2 is available both on the PC and the Switch, and it runs pretty damn well on both. I've barely heard any complaints about the Switch, maybe some slight frame drops on the most crazy cutscenes, especially if you have the Switch Lite, but on the other hand, it's much more optimized than the demo, so it's pretty good. Both platforms make the game look stunning, 30 frames on the Switch, but for me, PC is gorgeous. The 60 to 144 frame settings, absolutely stunning. The game has a great aesthetic which absolutely anyone can enjoy. The lens flares are my favorite part. You can look up at the sky and really just feel the positive energy vibes of this game. Like many games today, there are a lot of movement and NPCs doing their own thing, which really makes the game feel alive. An example of this is in Ruto Village. If you look up, there's Palumus just flying in the sky, which I think is the cutest thing ever. Finally, adding to the environment, the music is just on point. This game has such a wonderful soundtrack. But come on, it is a Monster Hunter game, right? The music is always on point. Number 2, the combat system. Now the combat system I think is the iffy one, and it's the part that's gonna make or break this game for a lot of people. If you aren't a big fan of this turn-based system, and by that I mean, you select an attack, watch the animation, the monster attacks you back, then your turn comes again. If you aren't a fan of that, this game can be a bit mundane for you. You're going to have to do quite a number of these battles for the later endgame grind, it seems. Although it's not the worst. It's definitely a lot lighter than most turn-based games, especially those annoying ones where there's like a battle like every few steps, or the super annoying ones where like the monsters just super speed to you the second they see you. In Monster Hunter Stories 2, they've given quite a number of options to actually avoid the battles or keep the battles to a minimum. This primarily includes some of the monsters that you ride have the ability to prevent or avoid battles. For example, an early monster that you get is Puke, and he has the ability to roar and stun monsters, letting you focus on getting materials or slipping right by them. Nargacuga is another monster, which I think is a great one, and it goes invisible and lets you draw zero attention to yourself. So again, using a perk that's actually inherent of Nargacugas, and then actually putting it in the game so that we can use it for good gameplay. Fantastic design. So as someone who isn't a big fan of turn-based games, it's definitely tolerable because of these nice quality of life additions. Aside from that though, the mechanics are really fluid. On PC, it runs beautifully. The transitions in and out of battles are pretty seamless if you run it on a standard SSD. The super/ultimate moves known as kinship skills have stellar cutscenes which make the battles feel more alive. You also have the standard speed up option, so it quickens the attacks, but not so fast that you can't make out what's going or skipping it altogether. So it keeps the pace of the game going while keeping the details. Smaller battles last about 3 to 5 minutes, bigger battles about 6 to 10. Although I haven't reached endgame yet, so I'm not entirely sure about the endgame battles. The weapon choices that you have are the 3 main damage types for your rider, namely Slash, Pierce, and Blunt. Monsters also have their regular elements, on top of which you also have this trifecta, like rock, paper, scissors style, attacks that beat each other out. So speed, technical, and power. This makes for quite a bit of variety of the combat system, and it gives users multiple things to think about when during a hunt or when you're grinding or trying to get some materials. And like most Monster Hunter games, you have to think about all these things when you're trying to farm for specific parts from a specific monster, and when parts break or monsters enrage, things also change up in the battle. I really love this aspect. It prevents me from falling asleep during hunts, or like basically falling asleep in these turn-based games, which I usually do. But it keeps things lively, keeps things moving, keeps things different during the battles. So overall, the combat system has a great quality of life, very dynamic battles, which I really appreciate. Alright, the third aspect that I want to talk about is the leveling system and the end game assumptions here. I am a big fan of the leveling system in this game. It's got a nice complexity, RNG aspects, and it lets you mix and match quite a bit, which I think is fun for me. I don't see a real need to get a specific meta unless you're playing this game specifically for PvP. But of course, there's always going to be that meta. But for me, to enjoy this game, I feel it's way more acceptable to be able to pick your favorite monsters and level them up and upgrade their skills. I am working on a full guide for the leveling system, so be sure to subscribe if you want to see that. But just to highlight the system, as you level up, you unlock skills and skill slots, which you can then add new skills to your monstie. And that's the cool part that I love. The mechanic known as the Rite of Channeling lets you upgrade your monster the way you want. You can change or take skills from other monsters and add them to your favorite monsters. You can customize monsters to be balanced across all three attack types, namely speed, technical, and power, or you can customize them if you want to be just one type. Elements as well can be changed and prioritized on monsters, although I haven't reached endgame, so I can't comment if this carries all the way through. But for the low mid-tier gameplay, upgrading with certain elements changes the monster's primary element's attack, which I think is really neat. This is a part that I feel will keep you going in this game. Honestly, gathering more eggs is the RNG to get better and better skills, and then you fuse those into your current monsties. Skills are interchangeable for you to stack your attack types and gain bingo bonus damage for each monstie. For me, this is super motivating to grind out the most optimized setup for each monster. The skills can also be leveled up individually by fusing the same skill from one monster into your current monster. So the grind here is to really get these monsters maxed out, which I think is pretty amazing. And if anyone out there is a collector / optimizer gamer like me, you're going to be madly addicted as I try to max out every single monster in this game. And that's about the things that I wanted to highlight in this game. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you have any other questions about this game. I'm happy to make some videos for you. I know a lot of you may be on the fence about this, but if you're a Monster Hunter fan, I highly encourage you getting this game. It's such a relaxing and different take on Monster Hunter with a huge appreciation for the monsters we hunt on the daily. If you are new to the franchise as well though, again, this is a wonderful and beautiful game that you can happily enjoy, and it's a great introduction to the world or just the lore of Monster Hunter. As long as you can tolerate the combat system though, that's the one thing. If you can tolerate the combat system, you will definitely lose a good number of hours of your life. And that's it for me, so keep an eye out for some guides, guys. I do apologize once again for them being a bit late, since I am still progressing through the game. But as usual, everyone, stay safe, be happy, and keep hunting. Or riding in this case. Sky Sensei is out.